because there's a press conference with Mark Donovan over at the stadium at 8 o'clock. Normally, I wouldn't leave until in the 8 o'clock hour because practice every morning is at 9:15, and practice is indeed at 9:15 today. But there's a press conference with Mark Donovan before that, so I'll go there and cover that at 8, and then head on over to practice. Today is full team practice, but it's only open to season ticket holders. And so if you're a season ticket holder, I imagine you figured out how to get your tickets here to practice. And so today we should get the full complement of players out there on the field. And then tomorrow they will open things up to the masses, to the rest of the Chiefs Kingdom. But for right now, it's season ticket holder day. And, of course, hey, you buy season tickets, you deserve a few perks. And so practice 9:15, exclusive season ticket member day, not open to general public. And then tomorrow, 9:15. And just for the autograph hounds, linebackers will be signing after practice. The linebackers. And then on Friday, it's going to be the defensive backs. And then if you're looking for the first team autograph session, that's going to be Saturday. Again, 9:15 practice. There's a $7 admission fee, but the entire team will be signing autographs on Saturday. And then Sunday, there is no practice. So there's the rundown for the rest of the week for Chiefs practice. But excited to be here. Excited to see Patrick Mahomes back on the football field with my own eyes, and everyone else who will be participating today. You heard some dramatics from the Royals again, as all they do is play one-run games. That's it. Some of them they win, some of them they blow like they did last night. And, man, you have to wonder, look, we've run down the list of things wrong with the Royals, right? There's not only one or two things that could change the fortunes of this team. This was a flawed team to begin with, and then they were overcome by injury. But there's still one fatal flaw that has continued to haunt them throughout the season, is they don't have a closer. And when you play a lot of close games, for instance, the Royals, any idea, Nate Bukaty or Jake Gutierrez, without looking it up, how many one-run games have the Royals played in a row?
Ooh. 5.
Jake?
7.
They have played 8 one-run games in a row. Since they lost to the Padres 19-2, every game since then has been a one-run game. All 3 games with the Giants, all 4 games with the Tigers, and then last night with the Twins. And they have won 5 of them and lost 3 of them. And last night, it looked like they were going to win, but as I mentioned, the bullpen blew it, and they do not have an established closer that they can lean on. Alex Lang, look, he's given a yeoman's effort, right? He's done the job sometimes, but also after last night, he pitches 2/3 of an inning. He gives up 2 hits, gives up 2 runs, a walk, including the walk-off triple. Anyone want to take a stab at his ERA? Unless you're already looking at the box score. So a wild guess at what the closer's ERA is for the Royals.
Over 5.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Over 6.
That's a better guess. 633.
That's not good.
630. Wow.
That's not good at all.
Yeah. Well, again, you're correct, Jake. Not good at all. And so, look, that's his 3rd blown save. He's 1-6 losses. He's nailed down some saves, but man, but who do you go to? I don't think our friend Scott Carroll will mind us revealing that he sent us a text message expressing his desire for Steven Cruz to just be handed the keys and say, you know what, you're the closer for the rest of the year. Let's see what you got. And he's had some success we just talked about in his last outing, he looked impressive, getting a strikeout to close the show and get the save. And so, yeah. Would he be the answer? I don't know. No idea. But might as well find out. I mean, this is a lost season. Find out if the closer for 2027 is on your roster. Because he's a local guy, he's been thrust into the situation. It hasn't always worked out, but he has gotten a number of saves. Alex Lang's not the guy for next year. Find out if it's Steven Cruz. Lucas Urseg, I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what to say about him. I love Lucas Urseg. I want him to succeed, but you can't say with a straight face, oh, he's the closer for next year. Carlos Estevez isn't coming back. I don't know when Carlos Estevez will pitch again in a major league game. And so that's got to be a high priority. Give the ball to Steven Cruz, at least for the time being, unless he blows it up a couple of times, 3 or 4 times in a row, and find out if he could be your closer. You got to find out if he's on the roster or add that to the shopping list for the offseason. But just, imagine if they would have at least had a stable closer from opening day. Or just imagine if they would have had a healthy Carlos Estevez. Would they be in the running for a playoff spot? Probably not, but it'd be a lot better. It'd be a hell of a lot better. I mean, how many times have we seen a guy go out there and just blow it in the 9th inning? And it's been a wide assortment of different pitchers. And so that's just, man, when you don't have a closer, that's just a backbreaker because, you're struggling to win games. You're scratching, you're clawing, runs across, and then you get to the 9th inning, and it just slips through your fingers like it did last night as the Twins beat the Royals 3-2. Seth Lugo pitched well, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, so that was good. Daniel Lynch threw 2/3 of an inning, only gave up a hit, got his 13th hold. His ERA is down to 2.05. Schreiber pitched a third of an inning. His ERA is down to 3.76. The aforementioned Steven Cruz pitched a scoreless inning, so those 3 did the job. And so hopefully other teams that are looking for relievers took note of Daniel Lynch and John Schreiber, and we'll see if their value can start to move up as we get closer to the deadline next week. But other than that, it's just demoralizing when you have a team that struggles to win, and when they do get the opportunity, you just can't rely on the bullpen, specifically the closer role. Nate, Jake, Deebs, any comments?
I was trying to look up what the Royals stats for the 9th inning is, just overall on the season.
Well, they have 18 blown saves this year.
Is that good?
It's not good, no.
Those
Astros lead the league with only 6 blown saves. The Nationals, crazy enough, have the most with 27, but they score more runs than anybody. So
right, and they've never been able to really establish a closer. Clayton Beater's been the guy, but
actually, Royals after last night they have 20. Actually, Tigers have 24, Nationals have 27. That's the league.
Yeah, because I remember about a month or 2 into the season, I had a stat for you guys about the 9th inning itself. Because, you can blow a save before the 9th inning, right? But the 9th inning in particular, the Royals never score and they give up a ton of runs. And when you're playing all these 1-run games that you're talking about, that's obviously a really bad trend. But it's been crazy how lopsided the 9th inning has been and obviously not having a closer is at the top of the list of reasons why. Not finding anybody through the course of the year that you felt like you could trust at all has been just one of many huge problems for the team.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, look, it's. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know what the biggest problem is with this team. I mean, health would be number one. They get way too much of their salary is on the IL, and way too much talent is, Bobby Witt Jr., Michael Garcia, Kyle Isbell, all on the IL. Like I said, we never saw Carlos Estevez except for one disastrous outing. He's on the IL. Jonathan India, they spent $8 million to bring him back. He barely played this year. Chris Bubich is on the IL. Cole Reagans is on the IL. Stephen Kolek's on the IL. I mean, just keep going and going and going. That's been the biggest issue, at least for a big chunk of the season. But instability in the bullpen has been huge. The inability to hit, at least early in the season, with the runners in scoring position, terrible base running, lack of fundamentals. I mean, there's a lot there to pick from, guys.
Yeah, and obviously lack of any kind of clutch hitting, first half of the season at least was a huge problem. And like I said, that kind of goes hand in hand. It was crazy how many runs are giving up in the ninth inning versus how many they don't score. Like, how many ninth inning rallies do you remember seeing from this team this year?
And honestly, that's why I don't have any problem with them. I'm not saying blow this whole thing up and rebuild, but they shouldn't have any reservations about trading, a key piece here or there. Like, I don't have this strong desire, like, boy, there's something special about this chemistry. They got to keep this together. I don't think so. Just for whatever reason, that things have not worked out well, and that something's been missing. And so I don't have that fear with it. Well, we don't want to trade a guy like Massey, or we don't want to trade a guy like Waka, or you got to shake it up a little bit. You really do, because just like pin the tail on the donkey, spin around and put it somewhere, and you're going to be close as to what's wrong with this baseball team. And so,
yeah, there's a big target there to choose from. I just don't. About the only thing you could say is that the team is only a couple seasons removed from going to the playoffs, but how much of that team is still a part of this group going forward? I guess that's kind of the key to me, is like I see some key, like some core players, but really not that many. It doesn't feel like the team is close.
You got super lucky with health of the pitching staff,
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened since then.
Well,
and again, and I hate to bring this up, and you only play who you can play, but they had the benefit of having a god-awful Chicago White Sox team that they beat the hell out of. And that pushover doesn't exist anymore in the division.
Well, and when you talk about the benefit of health, I think the context of it matters too, that they got the benefit of a decent number of starting pitchers who had not had a track record of pitching heavy workloads, right? Waka being the main exception, but Lugo's not a guy that came in that you're like, oh yeah, he gives you 100 innings every single year. We know that he does that. He didn't have that track record. And those guys are also all a couple years older now. They weren't exactly young when that magical playoff run season happened. And they haven't shown since then that they can stay healthy. Like you said, it like, to me in the context, it kind of looks like, boy, everything lined up pretty well there. Some aging pitchers, or pitchers who have had injury histories or have not been full-time work, starting pitchers before, all seem to have like a great season for staying healthy and being consistent. And they really haven't had that since then. And the bullpen hasn't maintained. And they haven't been able to add the offensive pieces that they thought.
And look, that Singer trade looks horrible now. I mean,
sure it does.
It looks awful, especially when that's.
Yeah, because he would have been the one guy that was like in his prime.
Right.
But look at the innings they pitched that year.
Yeah.
Lugo 206.
Yeah.
Reagan's 186. Singer 179. Waka 166. Even Alec Marsh threw 129. How many innings? I mean, how valuable that is, the amount of innings that rotation through. And then on top of that, if they didn't have, they had some issues in the bullpen. But if you remember, Bubic turned into a terrific reliever that they depended on down the stretch. And Lucas Erceg, after they got him the trade deadline, I mean, Bubic had a 2.67 ERA out of the bullpen. Erceg had a 2.88. Those guys developed to go into go-to guys out of the bullpen down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
So yeah, I mean, but like those guys, the numbers you just listed off, how many of those guys are like, oh yeah, you can expect to get that number of innings? Singer and Walker, right?
Yeah.
And Singer's not here anymore, and Walker's 2 years older.
Right. And back then they didn't have enough offense, and they still don't. So there you go. We will take a break. When we come back, we should be joined by Jesse Newell from The Athletic right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. The show originates today from Stony Creek Hotel in St. Joseph, Missouri. The only place that I'll stay in St. Joe. I'd stay at John Garvey's house, if you'd let me. But other than that, only right here at Stony Creek Hotel, our wonderful headquarters. And right now, we're joined by Jesse Newell from The Athletic, who has made his way to my hotel room.
Don't say it like that.
Who's paid me a visit. Hey, everything's set up to see my nice desk.
Yeah.
With all the equipment. I didn't have to call anybody. I figured everything out on my own because we changed the equipment up a little bit this year. So I'm very proud of myself because sometimes I feel stupid when it comes to technology. But so far, home run here. Jesse, how you doing?
Doing great, Steven.
Would you say hello to Nate Bukaty back in studio?
Hello, Nate Bukaty.
See what's up, man?
Uh-oh.
Hey, Jesse, what's up, man? Good.
is.
How are you?
There he is.
I thought we were getting him, off somewhere to checking his phone or away from the mic, but no.
I was here. I was ready.
No, that's a Jake misfire.
Oh, okay.
Jake checking his phone.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Got a fantasy draft going.
Mock drafts.
Mock drafts.
2027.
I've started them.
Let's talk about the most important topic here. That's Patrick Mahomes and his knee. I saw you posted a video about what we've seen so far from Patrick Mahomes or what you've seen so far in the limited practices. Gary Dieter was on the show yesterday and was said he's irritated, and he encouraged Chase Daniel to stop posting videos, which that's not going to happen. But I like Gary getting mad at Chase Daniel posting videos about Patrick Mahomes' knee. And Gary just says, look, he's going to be ready week 1. Everyone stop freaking out about everything. What have you seen so far from Patrick Mahomes and what the Chiefs are trying to find out early in this camp as far as his knee and how healthy he is?
Yeah, you hit on a lot of those things, Stephen. The one thing that kind of stood out when watching him is they went through drills where he rolled out to his left, and I think that's part of what Chase Daniel was breaking down on his video. But they are pushing this thing, and they're pushing it early. I mean, training camp hasn't officially even started yet, and they've got him out there doing something with his knee that potentially could make it extend, could make it feel a little bit different, or he didn't tweak it, but you could tweak it a little bit. And so the fact that he's able to do that and able to go out there and that they are at this moment pushing him to that aspect, I think that says something. And then I put this in my video that I reported from yesterday, which is, it is, as Garrick said, it's way easier than we're making it for Patrick Mahomes to come back in 7 months and be in this particular place and to be at a point where we're saying he's going to be back for week 1, but he does, from these media-only practices, he fidgets with that brace a lot. And so there are very real things that go along with this as part of this process, which he talked about wearing that brace in college, or a knee brace in college. I'm sure it was not as big or as hefty as this one is, but he said he was comfortable with it then. But it's going to be a process now to figure out, hey, how do I get this thing to feel good, to not feel like I'm wearing this big bulky thing on my knee, and to get it in a comfortable spot. And then the mental aspect of this too. At some point, I'm sure they've got to try to get him out there for the preseason just so he can feel that part of it again, and so that he can get hit at some point, hopefully not severely, but there's a mental aspect, there's a physical aspect, and all of this isn't just magic. I mean, he's worked so hard to get to this point, but there are some real checkpoints he still has to face to get to where he needs to get to play week 1. And so it's encouraging so far, but there are some things when you see it with your own eyes that you say, okay, there's some hurdles still there that he has to overcome before he's ready to go week 1.
But number one, and Jake, you mentioned this, he's got to wear the brace, right? He's got to wear the brace.
I think so. I mean, he discussed this when he first got here to camp with us, asked about the brace, and he said that he was comfortable with it from wearing it at Texas Tech. He said he had no discussions, basically, with people that said he had to continue wearing it indefinitely. But it sure seems like right now, for sure, as a safety thing, to have that thing kept in place and kept in a good spot that he's going to be wearing it for the foreseeable future. So it's something he's going to have to get used to, and it is something he still is getting used to based off of us being out there.
And the other point was playing in preseason games. Gehrig, his thought was he would play in the final preseason game and get a series or two. What do you think would be the best way to approach this?
Also, remind me of their preseason games. The last one is at home against. You don't want to even think in these measures, but what I know, two of their opponents are Seattle and the LA Rams. Who could you pick two worst defensive lines to go up against in the NFL if you were going to? That's not who you want hunting Patrick Mahomes potentially. So I think that last one would make sense because you could control the situation a lot more. Whatever team you're facing is more likely going to not have their starters in. But let's see here. So the last game is the Seahawks at home. Potentially Seahawks would not be playing their starters then. First one is Rams at home. Second one is at Tampa Bay. So that would make a lot of sense, is just to get him out there for a series. That's normally what they've done anyway, is just to kind of get his feet wet. In the past, the joke has been that he wants to get hit one time just to feel what it's like and then be ready for the regular season. This is a little bit different scenario for him, but I do think that that's one of those things you have to cross off for him, is to be able to get out there, be out there with teammates, and feel comfortable again that he's able to do this thing that he's done for his whole life but hasn't done in this particular setting.
So the Rams game is August 15th, then the Bucs game is the 22nd, and then if you waited until Game 3, that's August 28th, like you said, against the Seahawks, and then you'd have until September 14th for the Broncos game to open up on Monday Night Football. So that's the timeline there for the games leading into the season opener. Nate Bukaty, Jake Gutierrez, any thoughts about what Jesse said about Patrick Mahomes and his knee?
Yeah, I think the knee brace conversation is a little bit of an interesting one. I heard Jake saying the other day, what did you say you would wager?
Oh, all my money that I have in my life.
All the money that
all
you
of
have. I'm tempted.
All of it.
Do you,
like $1,000.
Do you think he'll weigh? Do you think?
I was thinking 26, but yeah, 1,000 might be more
like
close.
all the debt. There's like
he didn't say 1,000. He said like 1,000.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
like
depends on if you get paid on Friday.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
How about this? $714 and a hell of a lot of bone broth.
Yeah, well,
you take crypto. I got a lot of crypto.
Hey, so
and all the water you want.
That's right.
I'm just kind of like, there's different types of knee braces, right? Because like when he did the dislocated knee, the first Super Bowl run, and he only missed a couple games. Understanding that's a very different knee injury than a torn ACL, but he came back wearing a brace, but it was a lot smaller. Like you almost couldn't even notice it. I was going back and looking at Super Bowl highlights, and if you didn't know he was wearing a brace, you wouldn't probably see it. Do you think there's any chance that he transitions to a brace like that instead of because the one he's wearing right now is that really big, bulky one that does seem to actually like limit your mobility and all that?
I think you would hope so with him, because exactly what you're saying. And I posted this video up. See, these videos have gone a long way, because these first practices with rookies, it's media only, so it's no public. Starting today, there's fans in there, so you'll see a bunch of online videos from fans that are out there. But if you look at the video I posted today on Twitter and on Instagram, wherever you want to follow me on the socials, I do have a bunch of videos in there, because we're only limited to shoot a certain portion of practice. But it did strike me how much he was grabbing at it. And there's multiple straps on this thing. You know, you can tighten it in different ways. And I was pretty easy. On my camera roll, again, I'm just shooting like anybody else out there at practice early on, like these TV stations are, but I had about 6 or 7 clips to choose from where Patrick Mahomes was tugging at this brace. And so I put 3 or 4 of them in that particular video. But you can see this just because, you know, nobody else has been able to see him at practice, and you haven't seen these fan videos out there yet. But you'll see that sort of, I'll say discomfort, but he's thinking about it. I think that's what I would say. You can tell he's thinking about that brace, and that's so much on the football field where we talk about these receivers and how they can, you know, if you learn the offense and you learn the position, then you can go out there without thinking. Mahomes right now is thinking about that thing on his leg, and he's feeling it. And so that is going to be adjustment. But as you said, Nate, you would hope as time goes on and as he heals up better and he rehabs through this thing that maybe it could be less of a bulky brace. Maybe it would not affect him as much and not be on his mind as much.
But a sleeker brace that this has been 15 years since I had an ACL tear, but there's one that you come out of surgery with and one that you wear. And then, you can gradually move to one that's less, restrictive with less straps, and it's that gives you stability. And I'd expect him, over the next 6 weeks, probably move to that one.
I just because
that would be the hope for sure.
I know torn ACL as an old man is very different than a professional athlete play. But I remember my surgeon who did, he did professional athletes. He said he didn't want his patients to have to wear a brace in perpetuity after that. The idea was if you rehab it, and I know Mahomes has talked about how he feels like he's stronger. A lot of times they say that knee capsules and everything like that actually get more stable after you've had a surgery like this.
They get stronger, but also he's coming back so quick.
That's the thing. So they're saying he's going to wear it early, but not necessarily doesn't mean that he's confined to it for the rest of the year. I bet
he would not be wearing that a year from now. But I'm saying
also people have to understand, and I'm not singling you, Nate, out, but I've seen this from so many people. Stop comparing his injury to yours.
No, it's the same thing.
Everyone in the world, stop. Because do you know what his job is? Rehabbing that knee injury. Do you know the way he's attacked that, the hours he's put into it?
Yeah.
And the same effort and the same the drive that we've seen him use to win 3 Super Bowls. That's what he's done, and the access that he has to the care and the treatment that people like us will never see in a million years. And so when people, he's coming back so soon. It took me 11 months. Well, had you won 3 Super Bowls? Do you have access to everything he has? Was it your job 24/7, literally, to come back from this knee injury? And so it's very difficult to compare anything that anyone has any knowledge of, even other athletes.
Right.
Who's more important? Who's a more important athlete in the United States than Patrick Mahomes? Honestly,
there isn't one.
If there's like a handful, right? He's going to get the best of the best of the, as Jake says, the very cream de cream.
Yeah.
Of all of the, rehab and every possible edge and advantage he's going to get. Money is no object. Time is no object. So
yeah, and so and I'm
going to the very cream de cream teams.
So I'm going to go ahead and compare myself to Mahomes, right. But I never wore a knee brace after my ACL tear. And now I didn't play tackle football, but I went out and played soccer and basketball and things like that, and I never wore one. And I asked my doctor multiple times, should I be? He's like, no. So I'm just saying, I assume he will. He's playing tackle football. He's, guys are, 300-pound men are chasing him and all that stuff. But I also think he's going to be. He said it himself. He's in many ways stronger. I think a lot of what has to happen now is just the confidence, the ability to stop and change directions in real time and all that stuff. And that stuff just comes over time. I think he's. I'm not worried about him. I don't know. I wonder if he'll be wearing that bulky of a knee brace by the time the season really starts. Is kind of my biggest question.
It makes me wonder. I feel like we're talking in circles about this here because you can look at the video I have of him rolling out to his left. But if you're him and it's 7 months off an ACL, I'd probably feel better mentally if I had a bulky brace around my leg. If I'm rolling to my left and trying to plant and pivot off that knee. My hope is in a month, I don't feel that anymore.
Right.
I think, I'm feeling good. But for now, it's like they're pushing him to an extent. They're seeing how far he can go physically and mentally. And perhaps to help him, because it is so quick after this injury, you do wear a bulky brace. Because it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to push myself, but I like to know that there's a little extra support here. I like to know that this thing is not going to wobble out on me. Especially for a guy that has had his kneecap on the side of his knee before. So I agree
and
with your
like you
point.
said, you're pushing the timeline a little bit, so why not wear it right now?
They cut his knee open right? He has a wound on his knee that's healing. I mean, when they repair your ACL, they cut your knee open.
Well, I mean, they do it arthroscopically anymore. I mean, it's the little holes. I didn't get it. I didn't have a.
That's still cutting your knee open. I mean, whether it's arthroscopic, they're putting holes in your body.
Yeah.
They're cutting your body.
Yeah.
I mean, and so you have a wound on your leg, and so that just gives you extra protection. You just feel better when something's covering it.
Yeah.
And you can modify it as well, like you guys have talked about. There's more than one type of knee brace. And to start off, go with call him Mr. Bulky. The biggest, bulkiest knee brace you could find.
I feel like it's an old man reference. Does everybody know what Mr. Bulky's is?
They should.
By the pound.
If they don't, they missed out.
Okay.
They missed out on a wonderful Saturday afternoon.
It gave me a great feeling inside, Steven. So I said that, yes. I was like, oh, Mr. Bulky's, yes.
I remember at Metro North Mall right there, I think next door to each other was Mr. Bulky's and Babbage's.
Yeah,
where I go buy some video games.
Play the Sega. They used to have they'd have a model Sega out, Sega Genesis. You go and you stand there for
Look
too long.
Look at the graphics of this game called Madden.
You stay there
Madden
too long.
Football. It's incredible.
The sloppy guy at the counter of Babbage's like, hey, you gotta get off the machine. Gotta let other people play.
I mean, buying candy by the pound, like how could that be a bad idea?
Well, then the trick would be trying to sneak it into the movie theater at Oak Park Mall.
Right.
All right.
That's what baggy.
Look at all these great memories.
The best part was you go get the scoop and dig into that $9.99 a pound, and then put the number for the $7.99 a pound.
Great memories.
I never did that, but I heard people do.
These kids will never know. Yeah.
The KB Toy and Hobby was, I think, right down the walkway from there.
You could squeeze Toys R Us's in the mall.
Fun Factory, you go get Mr. Bulky's and walk across the mall to Fun Factory.
Fun Factory was awesome. Yeah. Wow.
God, the mall.
That was back in the day when there was the Taco V at the end of every mall in town.
There we go. I'm gonna tell you something. I used to love Orange Julius.
Yes.
And here's the deal, and this is something. Now here we go. Kids miss out not having malls.
Totally.
The way we used to. Everything became outdoor malls where there's no personality. They all look the same, and they're connected, but they're not. That was a highlight of my youth. Going to them where you walk around. Hey,
it was a model of freedom.
You have to actually go out and meet people and see them face to face.
You get away from parents.
The movie theater there, you'd eat there. You have a whole damn date there. It was, Metro North, Blue Ridge, Indian Springs, Independence Center. Some of my best memories.
Metcalf South.
Oh yeah, Metcalf South.
So do you guys remember the people that would stand at the bottom of the escalators with the clipboards asking you to fill out surveys? My mom did that job for a while after my parents got divorced. So when I was like in 3rd and 4th grade, when we get off school, my sister and I would have to go hang out at the mall for like 3 hours while my mom was finishing her shift, and she'd give us like $10 to go spend at the mall or whatever it was, at probably $5 back in that day. But like she would be standing at the end of the escalator asking people to fill out surveys, and we'd just be running around the mall for 3 hours.
Before you walk into Sears.
They tied in the dressing rooms again. Go get them out of there.
I think we did play a lot of hide and go seek in the mall.
I bet you did. And he was always hiding in the dressing rooms.
Well, hey,
I know where he is.
They did more hiding than seeking.
I used to remember when like the place to go to get clothes was merry-go-round. Mm-hmm. And you go to merry-go-round and they'd have really attractive young ladies working at merry-go-round, and you'd go in there and you'd try something on and it would look terrible, but oh my God, you look so hot in that. You look great. Oh, I
Sold.
do. If I'm wearing this colonial shirt, purple wear, I'm wearing my print shirt with the puffy shirt. This looks good on me. Oh, you look like you're in Prince in the Revolution. Well, I should buy this, I think. With the real pearl buttons. I should wear this to the mixer on Friday, don't you think?
Yeah.
And then you buy it and they immediately ignore you. Never talk to you again. What? So I used to work at the Landing. The Landing was fun, until I was fired. But
you were folding the jeans the wrong way.
Said Anthony, that guy, Mr. Assistant Manager. Mr. Know-It-All. You know,
Yeah,
we all fold jeans our own way.
That's right.
Thank you. All right, we got that was a Jeans West, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, sorry, I got my stories confused there.
That's all right. We got a lot done, I think. Do you have any other questions before we break for Jesse Newell? Should we break now, Jake? You tell me. This is your show, your clock. I don't know what I'm doing.
But we can. It's your show. I mean,
Not really.
if you want to go 3 or 4 more minutes, we can. If you want to break and come back, then we got a short segment at the top.
We got fresh ideas from Nate. Nate, anything else you want to ask Jesse about? And remember, it's just been quarterbacks, rookies, and some select injured players at camp so far until today.
So you were telling me which position groups are going to be signing autographs?
Yes.
I would like to know if you guys had to pick one position group, and it's not quarterback, because we got to take Patrick Mahomes out of it, what position group would you be most excited to get autographs from?
Autographs.
Like if I was a kid and I was
if you're a kid, you take tight end, right?
Yeah, probably tight. I mean, my daughters would want tight end.
I think tight end's the answer.
I think the boys probably would want defensive line. Well, maybe linebacker because of Nick Bolton, because of how I've raised my boys. But I mean, there's a lot like on the defensive line. Chris Jones. I love Peter Woods. R. Mason Thomas. I mean, you've got some high end talent there. Kyrus Tonga. I don't know. I'm a defensive line.
I think
guy.
Defensive line, if you're getting those autographs, you're bragging to your friends. I think tight end, you're bragging to everyone you meet. You get everyone you meet.
Kelsey's just kind of a different animal, isn't he? Like, I feel like Kelsey and Mahomes, you almost have to take off the list, because then because Kelsey's that's a different level of autograph. But
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
As we enter camp with the full team, how do you handicap this race to be the starting defensive end opposite George Karlaftis?
Yeah, it's going to be something to watch. We obviously heard from Ashton Gelati this offseason, and he was pretty honest saying, I didn't do as well as I wanted to do last year. I watched tape of last year, and I'm frustrated with what I was able to do. And we've seen guys make jumps in the second year. I know one of the big things I always talk about is the NFL Next Gen Stats tracks get-off percentage, or the time it takes you to cross the line of scrimmage. Usually between rookie year and second year, that goes way down because you're learning the nuances of the game. I asked Ashton about that a couple months ago, and he said, yeah, you're learning snap counts on the at home or on the road, and it's different learning. And from being in the locker room, Ashton's a guy, he's not afraid. I remember seeing him after his first game at home trying to pick Ashton Gelati's brain, and he even referenced, he's like, hey, sometimes you don't want to go to those guys all the time and annoy them, but I do think he's a guy that's going to ask for feedback and will be better this second year. But our Mason Thomas was brought in. His reputation, his nickname at Oklahoma was the closer. And man, this team, I heard you guys come on the way up here talking about the Royals closer woes and how much it hurts a team to lose a game in the last few seconds. Well, man, last year the Chiefs, that's exactly what happened. How many games did they have in one-score games that they've been so successful in the past? You get to a 3rd and long, and they just could not make a play to get off the field. And so for our Mason, if he could just be a closer for them, a speed rusher on 3rd down, you bring in. I know that you will eventually want to get him into a 3-down role potentially, and that he can hold his own a little bit better than maybe what his size would tell you. But if he does nothing else other than be a closer for this team, that could win them 2 or 3 more games. And that would be a big deal we talk about these details, these small things that kept them from winning games last year. If he only provides that in his rookie season, then that would be a huge boost for a team that definitely needs that sort of thing when it comes to late game situations.
Man, this defensive line, I keep saying this over and over again, with the amount of draft picks and money invested in this defensive line, it better be one of the strengths of the football team. It has to be. These issues of not getting to the quarterback have to be gone. Because when you spend a first-round pick for Peter Woods, last year a second-round pick of Omar Norman Lott, second-round pick this year R. Mason Thomas, last year a third-round pick Ashton Gelati, all that money on Karlaftis extension, all that money for what Chris Jones makes, the money to bring in Kyrus Tonga.
I'd say Tonga was not a cheap bring. Yeah, I mean they shopped a pretty good market to get Kyrus Tonga. They picked a guy they wanted.
They wanted to end that revolving door that saw Derek Nottie and Mike Pinnell and everyone else trying to fill in that role. They spent money on Tonga. He's battling to be the 8th guy in the rotation, but FAU's still a first-round pick. You got draft equity, you've got money, you've got extensions, you got free agent signings. This better be a really good defensive line, and those problems you talked about better be gone, or someone screwed up something.
That's just like, to me, it seems like they're assembling a more of a modern defensive line. Jesse, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Seattle and teams like that have shown the old idea used to be you had to have two great edge rushers to have a great pass rush, where theirs is like the pass rush comes from everywhere. Every single person on the D line has a handful of sacks. Is that more likely to be that type of defensive line for the Chiefs this year?
Well, I think you look at the final teams in the NFL and where it's going. It's not just also set 4 guys out there and forget them. It's
right.
How many guys can you get rotated in?
Yeah.
How many guys can you keep fresh? And for all the things we can talk about that happened for them last season, I mean, Chris Jones, we can talk about the Jacksonville play a lot, and we have talked about it a lot, where he watches Trevor Lawrence go in the end zone, doesn't hustle, but the one thing Chris Jones has done for them is he's stayed on the field and he's played a lot of plays. And the one thing we can say for George Karlaftis is he stays on the field and he plays a lot of plays. I think this is a little bit of a nod to trying to get to what some of these other teams have, especially like the Final Four teams you see in the NFL. I mean, Tonga's an example. Tonga was part of a rotation with New England where, hey, you're part of a bigger thought here where it's like, okay, you can come in here, but then we can get you off the field and get somebody else in, and those guys continue to rotate. So I think the hope here is that, man, if Chris Jones gets a couple more plays off, what can happen? Hey, you look at some of the advanced metrics out there, his pressure rate is still really high. Chris Jones is, but he doesn't have, that doesn't help as long as somebody else doesn't come out there and say, hey, I can get pressure as well, or I can clap this pocket. So I think all those things helping each other will be good. And so far, at least it sounds like Peter Woods, they've been very impressed with him in practices and in the meetings. So that potentially could be a good thing as well.
Jesse Newell from The Athletic is with me here at Stony Creek Hotel in St. Joseph, Missouri. And here in about half hour, we'll be heading over to cover a press conference featuring Mark Donovan to kick off training camp and then 9:15 practice. But we've got another segment with Jesse right here coming up on Sports Radio 810 WHB.